What would you do if you took in your niece after her criminal parents were jailed, only for her to bully your own child and try to steal from you? In today's story, the protagonist's choice is a masterclass in setting boundaries when family pushes them to the brink. My life was turned upside down at the start of this year. My sister, Jenna, and her husband were sent to prison, and the sad reality is that they won't be released for a few years. This left me to look after their 15-year-old daughter, Chloe. I was perfectly happy to step up, but it came with a massive financial asterisk. Most of their wealth was seized for being ill-gotten, which meant I'd been caring for Chloe entirely out of my own pocket. Honestly, the financial part doesn't bother me, but it's meant huge life changes for a kid accustomed to a certain kind of luxury. The first major change was her school. Her parents had been sending her to an exclusive private school, but I couldn't afford anywhere near those fees. I had to transfer her to a local public school. She was visibly upset about it at first, worried about her image and her friends, but to her credit, she adjusted, quickly made new friends, and is now excelling academically, so it hasn't been a huge problem. A much bigger issue, however, has been clothing. Just like her mother, Chloe loves fashion and has a taste for expensive designer brands. She still has a lot of the high-end items her parents bought her, but she's a growing teenager and is always on the lookout for new clothes. Unfortunately, I can't afford anywhere near the sort of stuff she likes. I have 2 children of my own, including my 11-year-old daughter Lily, and their needs have to come first. I've explained this to my sister on our brief, timed prison calls, but she just insists I should make allowances because Chloe is going through a tough time. The stress wasn't just financial, it was poisoning my home. Chloe really doesn't get along with my daughter, Lily, and by doesn't get along, I mean she actively bullies her. She calls her stupid and ugly, and tells her that none of her friends really like her. I've walked in on my own daughter crying on multiple occasions, with Chloe standing over her, continuing to taunt her even as the tears rolled down her face. This was Chloe's way of coping, by exerting power over the one person in the house more vulnerable than her. It was a cruel and misguided attempt to reclaim a sense of control she'd lost, but it was sowing deep seeds of resentment in what was supposed to be her new safe haven. The situation finally reached its breaking point yesterday. I was at my desk paying bills when an email alert popped up from my credit card company. Unusual activity detected. My heart sank. The charge was for over $1,000 from a high-end online boutique. I knew instantly. I walked to Chloe's room and found her on her laptop, a triumphant look on her face as she stared at a picture of a sleek, ridiculously expensive dress. I was fuming. "Chloe," I said, my voice dangerously calm, "we need to talk. Now." Her face fell. I confronted her with the email, and she crumpled. She cried and sobbed that she just wanted one nice thing to feel normal again. Chloe's attempt to steal wasn't just about a dress. It was a desperate, misguided test of boundaries. She was pushing to see if the rules of her old life, where money appeared without question, still applied. At that moment, she had no idea that this single act would shatter the fragile peace and force a long overdue reckoning. As if on cue, the phone rang. It was my sister, Jenna, calling from prison. Chloe immediately launched into a tearful performance, wailing about how much she hates it here and how unfairly I treat her. When I finally got on the phone, Jenna begged me to go easy on her, repeating the same tired line that she's still adjusting. That was it. I snapped. I reminded her that I put food on her daughter's plate every single day. I buy her whatever clothes my budget allows, even if they aren't designer labels. I use my gas and my weekends to take her on visits to see her parents, who are held in 2 different facilities hours apart. And I do all of this on top of working a full-time job and looking after my own 2 children. As one commenter on my story would later write, my sister's own choices had placed Chloe in this situation. My responsibility is to ensure Chloe is fed, clothed, housed, and supported, not to buy her $1,000 dress. I took a deep breath and laid down the law. "Jenna," I said, "I am willing to look after your daughter for as long as she needs me. But if anything like this card incident ever happens again, or if she continues to bully my daughter, there will be serious consequences for her." She wanted to argue, but they get limited time on the prison phone, and her time was up. I believe what I'm doing is right. I get that the kid is going through a tough time, a trauma most of us can't imagine, and I'm doing everything I can to be there for her. But I cannot tolerate bad behavior like theft or bullying. The fact that she's struggling to deal with what happened to her parents doesn't change the fact that her actions are hurting my family and herself. Many people who heard my story asked the same question: is she in therapy yet? They pointed out that she's bullying my daughter because she feels powerless and a younger child is the one person she can dominate. It's a valid point, and an expense I now know I have to make room for. She needs professional help to navigate her new reality. In the end, I learned that while empathy for a difficult past is essential, it cannot be a free pass for harmful behavior. True support means providing not just food and shelter, but also firm, fair boundaries that teach responsibility and character. So, I have to ask, where is the line between supporting a troubled family member and enabling their destructive behavior? Let me know what you would have done in my situation.